All right. We are go. We are go. We are go. Hit up VK. Hit up VK. And the light. What are we doing? I think we're doing all right. We're doing all right. Right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Sorry for the late start here. I'm just making sure that everything is up on screen the way it should be. And we need the little guy in the corner, but I'm rest assured I'm working on it. What's his face? That should be enough. Sometimes. This one's interesting. Oh, there he is. Awesome, awesome. We're here. We're here. All right. Now, we've been doing punching people for a little while. Which reminds me, just for the sake of varietal, now some people say variety, but if you want to be unique, sometimes you don't use the words that other people use very much. Um, for the sake of variety, in the Instagram highlight, in the Instagram story teaser for the stream, I'll just do the figures this time. Hi, Reset Puffs. How you doing? So we'll just do this pose that I drew. It's late per usual. Right, right. Or your time zone didn't change since yesterday? Hated when that happens. Hated when my time zone doesn't adapt magically to the streamer that I like watching. Why does it never do that? For real, for real. Because watching VODs, I know the capitalist overlords want you to feel like it's the same, but it just isn't the same. It's just not the same thing. No matter what they want you to think. Oh, whoa! You so many messages. Friend told you something that happened to him recently at college. Right. I imagine. So I have wanted desperately to draw professionally since I was like 14. And when you desperately want to draw professionally, sometimes you end on Proco. And Proco is all about figure drawing. And it's very normal in figure drawing to have nudity. And then I started attending figure drawing quite early in my life as well. So quite quickly, I became very comfortable with the human body. I can imagine if you don't have my path into that, um, that's gonna feel a little bit strange. Also, depending on I don't know where you're from, but depending on like the culture of nudity, the cultural associations with nudity where you're at can also really sort of tinge that whichever way. You're just in the U.S., right? Well, I mean, depending on where you're from in the U.S., like there's religion and I feel like I've heard that the Pilgrims were quite prudish. He's in New York. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Then it's maybe not as much of like a huge cultural thing, but just the fact that if you don't know, haven't known for a long time that that's just the thing that people do is figure drawing classes. I can still see that being a bit of a shock. What was I? Yes, I had a plan for today. The plan for today was to warm up with actual character sketches because we have this place called Apollo, which is Art Nouveau New Money. No, Old Money. Sorry, Art Nouveau Old Money. And I did this silly thing of just doing like a full character going all the way for the first one. And I think what could be nice is doing a little bit more exploration for these Apollo characters. And so I think just doing some warm up sketches of characters instead of just figures could be a good way to hit more birds with fewer stones. Let me just make this one correction while I have a gray background. Cool. But now let's put you aside and let's just do some sketches of what some Apollo nights might look like. When he puts the clothes on. Fun. And I think the strategy here for me is going to be well, it's gonna involve my reference board. So we might as well just open that up right now. And then it's gonna involve going on Pinterest and finding like Art Nouveau posters as well as like Greek statues and junk. And then those two things, it's like you we take the Pinterest reference, that's already close to like the character space in which we want to operate, and then we just change it a little bit to work with the world building. We've done that before. This character was largely built off this reference. He's revealing the secrets. He's revealing the secrets of the craft. Like an easy way to just sort of build a character is find a reference that's already quite a lot like in the same design space. There was a lot of this reference. There was a lot that this reference had going for it that I thought would work very well with this new money, rich as hell, punky, opulent aesthetic. She has a lot of attitude. There's something about having a pet, especially if I thought if I could drip the pet out a bit. That also signals, well, attitude, opulence, power. The consumerism here is present in both. Like it's almost just like the same thing, right? But I dressed it up in the aesthetics of the world that we're building. And I thought that worked quite well. So let's try and go through this loop again today, but with Apollo Knight characters. So instead of street fashion attitude and modern wealth, we want the reference to communicate Art Nouveau, decorated elegance, and old wealth. But yeah, if you're struggling with designing like a character from the bottom, something that can help out here, this technique of taking a lot of essence from one reference, but then just turning it to 11, or turning it into the direction that you hope to be designing in. There you go. Right. So the whole point of bringing that into the stream as well was now we find some Art Nouveau references. And we find like some I feel like maybe Lawrence Alma Tadema might have, that is his name, right? Yeah. Might have some pieces that we can use as well for inspiration. Not as directly as I used that other reference, but still. I also need to figure out what how the men of this faction dress. It honestly might be just kind of almost the same thing of like classicist Greco-Roman drapery. But maybe we could, maybe, maybe we could introduce some armor. I don't know if you know this statue of the Roman Emperor Augustus. I think of this one a lot because it's so, the cuirass is so decorated, it's so opulent, it's such a I own the world kind of thing to decorate a cuirass like this. I think there's something there. I think there's something there. So maybe the men are more armored, or maybe we just introduce more armor to the style as a whole of this faction. These are the types of things that I want to explore today. Then I'm thinking, are there any artists that I know that do this a lot, that design stuff like this? Greco-Roman Art Nouveau drapery place. Honestly, to me, this feels more Victorian with the panniers. So maybe we're not tied so much into one cultural influence yet. But we know it's big, it's opulent, it tries to cling on to some elegance as well. Okay, okay. I'm almost ready to start giving it a go. Just give me a second here. How much do I know about these guys? I don't know how they fight. I don't think. Skrr, hey Alwyn. Skrr, skrr. I could imagine them being like visually a bit more low tech. Yeah. We are so getting there. We're getting reference. We're getting reference for some sketches. Then maybe we sketch till like I don't know 9:30 or something, and then we can move on with the big character concept. All right, let's rock. as soon as I have some background music. Yeah, that looks good. Awesome. What's up, Tonal Architect? How you doing? Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Drawing. Drawing. This is the good bit. This is the bit we like. This is what it's all about, man. You've been having to wake up earlier, so you've missed a bunch of streams. Yeah, don't worry. Don't worry about it. Don't ruin your sleep schedule for me. I mean, happy to have you, and that you guys seem to be enjoying the streams and all. But no pressure. All right. What do we want? What do we have in the way of costume? And then I'm imagining something like that. And then let's probably, just to show the costume, make sure that the other arm is outstretched. Right, so you guys, this makes no sense, but this is... That's just the name of the place. I keep messing that up because it's Art Nouveau and then I have to write old immediately after. There you go. It's not Apollo at all. Apollo is the name of the place in the world building. Mr. Man, how you doing? Mr. Other Man. Have you seen this one? I went way too far with the first exploration, and I'm going to go further with the first exploration of like, what does Apollo look like? And then I decided to do some more sketches, so we don't have like one finished design and no other like design exploration work. So I'm trying to do some more, because for what I know, like you're the judge. I don't know if this one goes in the thing even. I like it, but so so I'm trying some other directions as well. He pogged. He pogged. Awesome. Well, that's a good sign. Yeah, but we're doing some other sketches as well. Anyways, good night. No, you're kidding. Immediately, like, I want to do like a tiered skirt. Is it really good night for you? Have you been up all night? Maybe he just dipped. It's like a mic drop moment. Thigh, like the legs? Salute, salute. '07. Maybe one of the most goated Was that like ASCII emotes? It's so evocative. No, I'm assuming you wanted to say I like the legs. Which, if that's the case, thank you. Appreciate the compliment. What do we not like about this sketch? It's missing contrast. It's like almost the same size all throughout the length of the body, but it's also not exactly the same size like some of these Roman dresses actually tend to be. So maybe it would honestly be cooler if it kind of were that. If it kind of were like a straight skirt. He really did just dip. I'm likely to assume at this point that that my roommate was up literally all night. Right, she's completely off balance as well. Several ways to fix that, obviously. There's two different ones. I think this part of the silhouette could be like a bigger moment. I want there to be a sense of like kind of drama and showmanship almost to most of these outfits. And we'll see what we'll see what my collaborator thinks of that. But I like the idea that it's even though it's the elegant faction, it's still like over the top in some ways. The ways that it's over the top would then just be simpler. Looks like she's leaning on a staff. Maybe we could do that. That's fun. And then huge amounts of fabric here. Let's think, how does that work? What's the guy with the snake staff? The guy that the Asclepius? Asclepios? Holy shit, what a pull. It is Asclepios. He's like a doctor's god, and he has the staff with a snake. So, but I'm bringing that up to say we probably won't do that. Although it's a nice shape, this is not, I don't think this is like a doctor character. We're just for now exploring like the aesthetics of wealth. You would be open here. Yep. Oh, or maybe not. I guess not. Fair enough. Yeah. Yep. I mean, that is what it looks like. This one's just because I wanted a version where it's like we keep the legs. Yeah, yeah. For now, the strat has been jewelry, yes, but very simple jewelry. So we'll keep with that for now. You'd give her a mullet. Kind of Hera vibes. We are going Greek right now. Greek inspired. Definitely a play here where she gets sandals. Post Bliss, any tips on improving composition? It's a bit of a non sequitur, so I'll give you the the quick 101. I would start thinking a whole lot about ratios. If you aren't already, you may be. So this might be a useless tip for you, but it is gonna be. Oh, see you, tonal architect. It is gonna be all you're gonna get right now. You know the rule of thirds. Oh, but the rule of thirds isn't actually, it's not the end all be all. When do we use the rule of thirds? We use the rule of thirds when we want something to not be center frame, but we also want it to be comfortably within the frame. If you put something right at the edge of the frame, that's quite uncomfortable for a viewer. You're pulling attention towards a point in the frame where there is tension. Because you're almost, we don't like to be at the edge of the frame. Maybe just think of it that way. And obviously, if you put something within the central third, that's like putting it center stage. So if you want something to not take center stage, but not be uncomfortable, we tend to put it on thirds. That's an important, good ratio to know. Other ratios that are great to know are something like a 40-60. When do you use 40-60? Well, you use 40-60 in most cases where you feel like you want to use 50-50, but you shouldn't use 50-50 because 50-50, exact 50-50, has this sense of intentionality to it. It feels so intentionally symmetrical when you split something exact 50-50 that you only want to use that when that is what you want. You want an intentional feeling of symmetry. 40-60 is kind of central, but it feels natural. Then you want to know about 80-20. When is 80-20 good to know? 80-20 is good to know when you want to show scale. Little guy, big castle. Oh wow. Why is this castle so big right now? Well, because there's a huge discrepancy between 20 and 80. So this is huge. This is small. And let's see, I actually kind of didn't fully manage to do a 2080. Maybe this is more like 2080. I want this to be split into fours and then be the same distance. Something like that is 2080. And then final ratio that I'll tell you about right now. 90-10. Use 90-10 when you want there to be an uncomfortable discrepancy in size. Use 90-10 when you want something to be absolutely fucking huge and something else to be absolutely fucking small. It's also great for establishing shots, but it's good for establishing shots where you really want to call attention to, man, this guy's small and it's not fun. Or it's like crazy scale. Ratios. Think about ratios when setting up your compositions because they really impact how a composition feels. Two guys on, and then think about screen space, right? Two guys on the third of the canvas. Where's my thirds? I think it's something like here. Two guys on thirds are talking. They're just talking. Two guys spaced out more than thirds have a vast ocean between them. Two guys placed closer than thirds are quite intimate. A guy placed on the high third and a guy placed on the low third, there's a power imbalance. A guy placed on like far beyond the low third and a guy placed far beyond the high third, there's a huge power imbalance. That's the quick tip. I'll go back to drawing my sketch. If you aren't thinking about ratios and screen space, start thinking about ratios and screen space. Hope that helps. Now, posh type people throughout the ages have spent a lot of time trying to get off the floor. Why? Because the floor is like dirty. Awesome. Glad you like it. If you want a course, Irie Pan's foolproof concept art on schoolism is really great and teaches you a lot of the beginner stuff in a way that just kind of makes you ready to do professional work. Can definitely recommend that one. If you're content with quick tips, come back. I have plenty. I feel like I need to rotate you a little bit more. I can't have there be that big a difference between the rotation of the knee and rotation of the foot. Only a little bit. For now, you have to go back to work, but you'll be back. You're welcome, man. You're welcome. A little straighter on that one. Inner malleolus higher than the outer malleolus. Oop. Awesome. We almost have one more sketch. Well, what's that potential saying? You can't rush art. It's a good cope, solid cope. I don't. Well, okay, she's leaning. I still kind of don't believe the balance here. I want a little less. I want a little less weight on that cane. This I can believe. Yeah, yeah. Don't know that I believe that foot. Back foot here. Kind of feels better. And then I think this arm. How would you ever guess that? I think it's too long. I think I drew the arm too big, and I think I did the same with the hand. In a Jacob drawing, no. Alrighty. Yeah, just pull that ear forward a little bit. Maybe not even. No, I think a little bit is good. Maybe a bit of like Megara vibes from Hercules. Referring, of course, to the the Disney movie, not the Grecian, not the Hellenic myth. Not that you couldn't also have those vibes, just that I wouldn't know, you know. Filigree, 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 plus filigree. For now, I actually wanted to do more sketches today, but we're gonna have to be content with this single one, I think, because also want to progress on the other character. So this would be Apollo Sketches 1. And we will return with more of this character in about the time it takes for me to go on one bathroom break. See you in a bit. All right. Let's try to move efficiently here. We've talked previously about how I don't like to spend unnecessary time rendering. Which means we know we're gradient mapping. I know the color palette I want. Materials mask, that's going to be important. Yeah, that's not quite right. We do that, and we do that, and we do this. Hello, well-being 7. First time chatter. How you doing? We grab all that. We go here. Paste that there. Make sure that no, this is all good. This is all good. Where's the skin though? It's down here, so we want you underneath the skin. Awesome. And then there's some stuff here. You're just not supposed to be there. Awesome. And you need to be on a different layer. Doing good, doing good. Preparing to make a cover for your webtoon. Sounds fun. I'm preparing to make a webtoon. Or well, a comic. I don't know how we'll distribute it, but you know. Awesome possum. Nah, just do it all like that. Can't wait to see when I do it. Oh, we reached a follower goal. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, it might be a while though. It might be a while. Uh, this is a character, potential a would be character for that comic project. We're still in the design phase, and it is quite an ambitious project. So we might be in the design phase for a while. I want to exit the design phase in 2026 as the big goal. Awesome. So now we have that. You're not supposed to be there. Cool. Awesome. This is nothing. This is that. Great. Awesome. Yeah. I think we'll keep you separate for now, but I want a version where these three are merged. There you go. That layer. Oh, wait. Changes nothing. Awesome. Let's have a version where you merged. Amazing. Glad you like the art. Glad you like the art. Sorry, I just had to understand the message. Wait, what layer am I on? Not the right one. Not the right one, that's for sure. Yeah, I might as well be upfront. I'd say I'm not going to be very supportive of the whole AI thing. Kind of not my jam. Right, which I think is a pity, but I won't ruin your day about it. Oh, drop my pen. Give me a sec. Well, fair enough then. Fair enough then. All right, now we should be ready to try some gradient mapping. Except for like maybe one thing, which is ideally, I want there to be a transition, a color transition over the course of this robe. So at least for some of these gradient map experiments, I would like to have a version that has a value transition over the course of the robe. So grab that one, paste it down here, and then have a version of this without and one with. And now let's start on that whole gradient map experiment. I want yellow, I want orange. I'm not looking to get into pink very much. Instead, that would maybe be like a blue. Whoa, how did I do that? It's a thing called a gradient map. It lets you take your value spectrum and then apply different colors or values over that value spectrum. Most graphics software has something like this. Maybe we don't go white hot for the highlight. Now you can work in grayscale values. Oh, but oh man, don't let that be your takeaway, because you lose quite a lot of control and nuance. This is like a technique I use sometimes. Very rarely do I do values and then boom, gradient map to color. It's a very sterile way of working that gives you industry level results, but also, and not everybody agrees, but I think more sterile results. So just use with care. Use sometimes. Yeah, let me. I don't know. This looks okay. And then I think it could be nice to introduce like a little bit more shimmer potentially. Yeah, I can show you what it looks like in just a second. Once I'm done with this one. Then you gotta add. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. That's what I wanted to do. Awesome. You get like a menu that looks like this, and this would be your value spectrum. So over here you'd have black. Over here you'd have white, right? And then what a gradient map does is anything in your image that's black turns into this color. Anything in your image that's this value turns into that color. Anything in your image that's that value turns into that color. Anything in your image that's that value turns into that color. And it's a good way to predictably, in a sterile, machined fashion, turn values you've painted into colors or other values. Sometimes it can be good for taking something like a diffuse material, and then you hit it with a gradient map, and let's see if I can't find something interesting here. If you then, oh man, I'd love to do this just in value actually. If you have a diffuse material and then you do a gradient map that goes back and forth a lot between dark and light and dark and light, you can make a diffuse material look metallic without having to do a lot of extra painting work, right? Boom. Now I have what looked diffuse before now looks sort of metallic. It's not like a perfect solution, but now it gives you the impression of metal. Oh, I should have showed you. I should have showed you what that gradient map looked like. Um, Give me a second. Cool. And now I take a screenshot of that. So since the gradient map takes anything that you've got down here and applies it to the values that are already in your piece, if you make a gradient map like this that goes back and forth between values a lot, you can take what looks like a diffuse material and you can make it look metallic quite quickly and easily. Just by going in and making a gradient map like this really quickly. That's some of its uses. And then yes, it's a value to color workflow. But I would advise you to also learn to paint color. Gradient maps. A fun but dangerous tool. Okay, but I'm not quite happy with how that looks. That kind of looks better. There's also one we could try doing where we go back to yellow at the end. Nah, I don't think that works. I'd have to hand paint it. Also, I don't think this is always the case, but right now with these gradient maps, I'm getting a lot of weird artifacting happening. So I guess that's also something to watch out for if you start doing this. You might get some weird pixel artifacts. That's one idea. I think I like this one the best. So let's just save that one actually. And then the other approach that I considered is get rid of that, get rid of that, get rid of that. Just keep this. And if we do it like this, what we can do is just run a gradient map on this. Yeah. To generate a colorway, something like that. Cool. And now, with that, we need to get in here and do a little something here too. Doesn't have to be as extensive as in the other locations, just a little bit. Cool. And in here too. Cool. Now we have that. This is when I would then take the other stuff that I have going on here. And do some multiplying. I don't know, man. These are kind of all really cool. Let's see how's that versus that. Completely losing the highlights. Oh, but that's because the highlights are here. Yeah, no problem. Something that I don't know. Good morning, Almond Star. Good morning. How are we? Yeah. I don't know that really helped a lot. How's it going? Oh, all right. All right. Feel like that looks okay. And I was hoping for awesome, amazing, fantastic. But I realize sometimes that can be hard to get. And I think Photoshop would give me a cleaner gradient map, which is a little bit annoying. Because I like working in clip. Okay. Oh, I forgot you. Oh my god. You need to be merged down into this. Don't know about the shine. What color would I want that to be? Yeah, it definitely shouldn't go all white. I worked in Photoshop for the longest time. And now I work in Clip Studio, and that's kind of the, if you're talking 2D art software, that's the extent of it for me. Clip Studio is better for drawing. I don't know. I just like it, man. I don't think that it is definitively. Um, I like it mainly for the price range, mainly for the fact that I can buy it once and keep having it. That's the big thing. It's definitely a-okay for drawing. I can tell you that much. There's definitely nothing wrong with it for drawing. Okay. Yeah, not what I wanted to do. Is there not a way that I can just... Yes, awesome. All right, there you go. Well-being 7 is back. I hope you're being well. Yeah. Let's try that. Let's see how that looks when everything else is in place. Now you are enlightened. I'm sure all your art will be way better from now on. I'm sure you'll never do a bad drawing again. Let's see here. Hope so. Yeah. If not, it's something fun to explore. I'd put my money on just the fun to explore bit. Imagine doing bad drawings. Yeah, I've never done one of those, man. I think that's for scrubs, is what I've read. I think only scrubs do bad drawings. Last time I checked. Okay, I'm getting a little bit in my head because I've already painted the values how I want them. So I'm just assigning colors now. I would like you to be like a pretty continuous, this gradient map to be a pretty continuous light to dark values sort of thing. I'm just picking where I want like moments of saturation. There you go. Stuff like that. That's all we need to do. What do I want the darkest possible color to be? Well, something like that, probably. What do I want this space to be? Something like that, probably. Yeah. Oh man, I should have saved that one. Oh well. Biggest, hardest thing with gradient maps is saving them when you've done them. Absolute number one hardest thing to do with gradient maps is remember to save every new map you do. Can't tell you why, but it's just science, man. That's just how it works. Moving on. Kind of like that. Nope. Not what I wanted to do. Oh, well, whatever. Um, Probably lower the saturation a bit here. Could be this simple. Huh? Interesting. Will I do a background? Probably not for this one. Um, Probably just some like quick flourish. Because I'd like to do more characters. So many options. All interesting. You can really get lost in this shit forever. Edit, tone correction. Now this one, we're doing skin, so we would like to save this one. It's important to remember to save this one when it's done. Mm-hmm. This is the highlight color. It's fine. I think that might be a little bright. It's not quite there. But it's okay. It's workable. Mm. Um, get lost in the shit. Art in general. Did I say something? Sorry, I've been zoned out for a little bit. Oh, right. I said about infinite color variations. Yeah. He's locked in. He's trying to be. I still don't immediately dig how these colors are working together, but we'll figure it out. Yesterday you started the Craig Mullins painting course again. Nice, nice. This one you could do a million things with this guy as well. You could return to some of the brighter colors. You could continue the gradient from the blue. So many options. Yeah, I mean, so that's my impression of him as a teacher is that he's a little bit freestyly, which is not necessarily a problem. But that he just kind of just kind of talks about his art knowledge, which I guess it's good if you like that because that's kind of what I do too. It's just I just kind of go on and talk about what do I know about art. Oh yeah, I know this shit. I know this shit too. Maybe you can use the shit that I know. Or maybe you could use this shit that I know. Who knows? This is the shit I know. It's like very very free form, associated. Here's another thing I know about art. You think you can use that? Cool. Sick. I'll keep telling you things I know about art. This is really good. I'm happy that that people resonate with this style of teaching. I don't know. Why don't we just do like a? I've wanted to do this for a while, but just like fun holographic. Ooh, shiny. The underside of that. Ooh, there's some holographic dance. Awesome. You like that approach? That's so sick. There's a market for me. Well, let's just say there's an indicator that there's a market for me. There's a version of this one where we just go like, nah, let's make it more harmonious. Let's not go that hard on like the complementary. And you like desaturate this and bring it a bit back into more yellowish hues. I mean, it's still complementary. It's just not as like fuck you in your face as this is. A little more subtle. It's not easy finding art teachers. You don't think? Seriously? Always found Marco Bucci great. No, he's an awesome teacher. Yeah. Different style, awesome teacher. Awesome. Sometimes though, it is nice to find if you can, and this is not like uh necessarily like an assignment. It's just like an expression of empathy. Sometimes it is nice though to find teachers whose style align with yours. Million ways to skin a cat. 1 million of them. Many teachers online, you don't vibe with a lot of them. Especially when they treat teaching like entertainment or like social media content. You must hate me then. You must really dislike me. You're not familiar? I guess you've only been to a couple streams. But like, were you there for the ratio demo or the gradient map demo or whatever? Or have you seen any of my my Instagram reels? It's very like edutainment. You have not. Hit me with the German one. We'll figure it out. It'll make sense. And you know what we could? We could even go silver. It does feel a little bit risky with the other colors that I'm using in this project for the other characters, the other factions. But you could, and it works as a composition. I wonder if there's a... Yeah, how would I do that? I guess I would just crazy boost the saturation, and then I would mask you, flip you, and then paint you out like that. And then I just reduce like the intensity of that. So we just do it a little bit. Add a little bit more life into the render. Ich rede mich Kopf und Kragen. It's like by continuing to talk, I'm making myself look even dumber. You feel like I'm doing that right now? No, you did that. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I don't think so. I think we're all good. I think you're all good. You are way too transparent. You need a little bit more, and then we would use the same sort of shimmery holographic idea here. And we need the pearl to do the same thing. The pearls. So I would say we got somewhere today, but I mean, give me a second. Yep. Lock you. Come on. Press the right buttons. Lock you. I wanted this to feel more diffuse. Okay. And then just like a little less of that, a little more saturated. You didn't want to insult my teaching methods. Dude, we're all good. You're all good. No worries. I'm very I don't know, aware that the internet, people say shit they don't mean. People say stuff that's not shit. It's there's a very I'm not very affected by anything I perceive somebody to say on the internet. And also I realized that you didn't mean any harm. You're all good. So we did get one color scheme today. Is it the color scheme that we set out to get today? No. But that's okay. It's not a problem. And very likely we'll do another one tomorrow. Yeah. Or also, I guess what the argument here would be, many places are kind of like Rome. You don't need Rome. You need something like Rome. This is something like Rome. There's no reason you need to be in Rome when you could be in like Naples. Naples is a fine place as well. Yeah, Rome is overrated, man. You thought you wanted triadic or complementary dawn kind of colors. You thought you wanted like a dawn kind of color scheme with like a huge focus on complements. Well, maybe you don't. That's not what you need. It's what you want. What you need is really like uh, uh, an analogous color scheme with like a heavy emphasis on holographic shimmeriness and blues. Maybe that's what you really need. So I don't think that we really need to go to Rome. Yeah. Feels like a sound argument. You don't need this. You know, this also kind of works. This also, without any changes, kind of also works. Really what you needed was this. Yeah, well, because that one was designed intentionally and not just me flicking off like one layer. What is this artifacting happening here? You have a bit of information down here that you shouldn't have. Awesome. It's interesting to see me work this way as opposed to fixed. Awesome. I'm out of time. I should end the stream soon. There was one thing I wanted to do. That one thing involves grabbing all of the colors. Right. I like to be very experimental in my process. That's for sure. Wait, what's going on? No. It's all good. It's all good. I just realized what it is that I want to do here. Um, I will use AI? No, never. What made you? What gave you that impression? You need better jokes. Well, no, but this is good. This is good. This is you baited me and it worked, right? That's what I think that's what Twitch exists for. I think that's the entire reason this site exists. AI is the sworn enemy. Yeah. For now, at least, for me, it is. It is the sworn enemy. Of course, more accurate would be to say that I just don't care for it. But I mean, same thing. Oh, nails, man. Okay. Come on. Come on. So what I want is, I desperately want one iteration of this one to be done when I leave it today. And we're so close. So that's why we're still going. When we really don't need to. All right. I think we leave it here for now. Oh, AI. Online on Pinterest and stuff. It's hard to ignore. Yeah. We're going to be fine. It's okay. Okay, so that is... That's a color variation that I'm happy with and fine with. We'll go ahead and put that in my Miro board. And then we'll move on with the day, which means goodbye to you, watchers of stream. Thanks for joining. Thanks for hanging out. See you in the next one. Until then, have a good one. Goodbye.